Greed and ecological exploitation set him on a path of destruction to avenge the childhood he lost. This path would lead him to our planet, where he would try to recreate his lost paradise. But unfortunately, he would end up realizing that in order to save paradise, he would need to sacrifice his own life. Join me today as I explore the Archie Comics version of Slash. Slash was a turtle-like creature from the planet Palmadice, deep within Dimension X. It's unclear if he was the only one of his kind, but we can assume he had no one else in the world, just the palm trees. Palmadice was full of them, and it was considered one of the most beautiful planets in the universe. Palm trees were the center of his happiness. He would swing from them, climb on them, and sleep in their shade. That is, until the fateful day a government-sponsored lumberjack company named Vertmort arrived to gather firewood for the galactic president's fireplace. For that purpose, they cut down every palm tree on Palmadice, leaving behind a devastated, turtle-like creature. His childhood ended that day, and it set him on a path of revenge against authority figures. His trail of destruction became too dangerous to ignore, and he was eventually sent to the prison world known as Morbus. It was around this time that the vultures started calling him Slash, or at least that's how he tells it. In Morbus, Slash found an exiled Krang floating on a barrel of toxic waste. Determined to regain his paradise lost, Slash offered Krang to help him in exchange for helping him get his palm tree back. Krang told him about a world full of palm trees, Earth. Slash saved Krang, who was surprised to learn that this was a prison planet. After helping the criminal known as Belly Bomb escape from his guards, they took control of the spaceship and traveled back to Earth. Krang crash-landed their ship on the Shredder's lair with the intention of taking over his body, and while he and Belly Bomb worked on that, Slash fought against the turtles. But Slash didn't really have any motivations to fight them, and once he remembered why he came to Earth, he abandoned the fight and started looking for his palm tree. Given that he was in Manhattan, the only palm tree he found was a small plastic one from a pet store, which he ended up stealing. But this little palm tree was no replacement for the real ones, and Slash ended up in Rio de Janeiro looking for more. I'm going to assume that what Slash was looking for was a palm grove or a palm woodland. Overwhelmed by Slash's dedication to his quest, the Brazilian military threw a bomb at him to catch him and put him behind bars. After seeing his picture in the news, the mighty Mutanimals assumed that he was one of the turtles and freed him from his cage. But Slash didn't want their help. He just wanted to be alone and have his palm tree back. Slash started fighting the Mutanimals, and it was only thanks to Leatherhead's wrestling experience that they were able to subdue him. Slash was finally able to tell his story to someone who really cared, and as a result, the Mutanimals helped him find a small island filled with palm trees. It was a nature preserve, so he was guaranteed to be left alone. Slash was thankful to the Mutanimals, and he was finally at peace. One night on his island, Slash witnessed an explosion coming from a nearby island, the Mutana Isle. Thinking it was another crime against his adopted world, he swam all the way there to investigate. Unfortunately, when he arrived, he found future Raph and Donnie next to the dead bodies of the Mutanimals. Since all he remembered about the turtles was the fight they had when he first arrived on Earth, he assumed the worst, and the three started fighting, until Mondo's girlfriend, Candy, stepped in and stopped them. It didn't take long for the future turtles to realize that someone was tampering with their timeline, targeting the Mutanimals and both the present and future turtles, and that someone was Mr. Null. The villain left the gang of four to take care of the turtles, while he went back to the dark side of the moon with Candy as his mind-controlled hostage. As before, Null was aligned with Queen Maligna, who planned to invade Earth again and drain it of its resources to expand her hive. Future Dawn and Raph, plus Ninjara, Splinter, Slash, and present Raph got into Maligna's hive world through a time slip with the intention of stopping the invasion. It was during their mission that Slash finally explained his origin to the turtles. The turtles could now understand where all his rage and violence were coming from. When they encountered the malignoids, Slash charged in without a plan and slashed a gyroscope, some sort of balance system that kept Maligna's ship in stable orbit. It turned out to be a huge problem. The ship started drifting into the sun, and now Maligna knew they were on board. This kicked off a major fight, during which Future Donnie's time slip remote, their only way back, was destroyed. After they killed all the malignoids, they discovered that Maligna, Skull, and Bean were attempting to repair the gyroscope, which was the only thing keeping them from burning up in the sun. While Future Donnie fought to free Candy, the others debated making a deal with Maligna to escape. But to Slash, there was no room for compromise. Letting her live meant she'd return to destroy Earth, and even if she didn't, she'd probably destroy other planets. Unwilling to see more planets die like Palmadice, Slash destroyed the gyroscope, ensuring that the spaceship would dive into the sun with everyone included. Future Donnie rescued Candy and led everyone to an escape ship, but Slash decided to stay on the ship because there was still time for them to make repairs and escape death. The rest of the group escaped from the spaceship, while Slash stayed behind, fighting until the end. When the group finally reunited with the rest of the turtles, they built a symbolic grave for Slash in the middle of the Nevada desert. Slash was created a year before his first appearance in the Archie comics for the action figure line and the Fred Wolf cartoon. Legend says that his creation was inspired by a 1989 painting by Kevin Eastman and Eric Talbot of a messed up Leonardo. This was actually a tribute to Stray Toasters, a graphic novel by Bill Sienkiewicz. It's unclear if this is the true behind-the-scenes origin of the character, but it sounds plausible. The action figure was an evil turtle from Universe Number 9 in Dimension X, trained by the Shredder to eat the turtles. After all, he was a cannibal. The toy was sculpted by Varner Studios and later reused to create a Toka action figure, which was unusual because Playmates didn't like making figures that looked too similar to each other. There have been numerous adaptations of Slash, but this one in particular has been turned into action figures on several occasions. There's a Turtles in Time figure by NECA, an Ultimate version of the Playmates figure by Super 7, an Archie figure by NECA, and, of course, more releases for the Fred Wolf version that I'll talk about in a different video. Casual fans probably recognize Slash from his video game appearances. This version of the character appeared in the Manhattan Project, the Super Nintendo version of Turtles in Time, the fan-made Rescue-Palooza, and the mobile game Mutant Madness. I find the Archie version of the character fascinating. He fit perfectly with the book's ecological messaging, especially regarding environmental exploitation and its impact on ecosystems, and the lives within them. In a way, Steve Murphy shaped Slash into an eco-avenger. Unlike the animals and beings that are helpless under these circumstances, Slash went on a rampage to avenge his world, facing powerful corporations in a way that activists must have fantasized about at some point. What really makes this character thought-provoking is that he was seen as unhinged and mad, but he was always clear about what he wanted. He just wanted his palm trees. And when he finally found them, he didn't hesitate to give up his life to prevent the tragedy of Palmadice from happening again. His Pyrrhic victory also offers a glimpse into Steve Murphy's mindset at the time. Slash, violent and determined, was able to defeat his enemy. But the Mutanimals, who were softer and kinder, were killed all at once in their own home. It makes me think that had the Mutanimals ever returned from the dead, they would have come back more like Slash. So, what do you think of this version of the character? Do you believe the Mutanimals would have survived longer if they were more like him? Do you think there was still a way for Slash to escape in time? Let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching. See you in the sewers.